I'll never forget watching the news and one day just deciding I wasn't going to watch the news anymore, and what a difference it made in my mental health. And I was watching a movie the other day. We went to a show and it was Knox Gone Away, and it was called something down here in Mexico in Spanish. And it was, oh my God, there was Al Pacino, who could barely walk with a chair with a pillow behind his back, like old man, right? Like, but he is. And his wife might have been 30 and a dancer and beautiful. And I was like, oh my God, I am so sick of seeing this. And I've had someone tell me a few years ago in a conversation, this word called trope or tropes. And I'm like, what is a trope? And she says, well, one of the tropes that she was sick of seeing as well was in the African American or Black community, where the man was really dark and the women was always lighter skinned. And I was like, oh my God, that's right. All of a sudden you don't see it, and then you see it, right? And then same thing with some of the other things that are portrayed in TV, etc., especially now that we're sliding into the holiday season. The movies, the traditional movies, are dangerous for you and I to watch as business owners, and it's because of tropes. So let me tell you how I come about this subject today. I was listening to somebody on Instagram, and they were really wanting to, do the best they could to help people. And they're like, you've really got to look at selling like serving. And it was like, Jesus Christ, that is a trope. What you and I have learned, especially as women, let's pay attention. There is an agenda for you and I as women to not be free, not be financially free, not to be free of our bodies, not to be free on how we think. We are here to be servants in many ways. And when you and I decide that we are going to start a business, we are bringing that same mentality into what it is that we do in our business. And if we go with all of these tropes, all of these things that are out there around business, around selling, around money, that is so ingrained in us because of the movies and the TV that we watch, it was flabbergasting for me again to see what I was watching and what it may or may not be doing to my subconscious as a person, as a business owner who needs to sell and make money so that I can fulfill on the life that I'm here to fulfill on. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you really do the math, that little bit of money that you want to make is nowhere near enough. And the reason you only want to make a little bit is because of what the tropes say, because of what the movies say, of what the agenda is in our world. And we need to, as women, really, 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 really understand what it is that's happening. So if you are having trouble selling, the number one thing you need to understand is you need to be able to sell your products and services. We're not going to mamby-pamby this. We're not going to wrap it all up in a bow and say, yes, you can just go and serve and la, 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 la. That's actually not going to get you where you need to go. You need to be able to sell. And you're, of course, going to sell something that's amazing. And of course, you're going to sell something that's going to change lives. But if you mamby-pamby and pussyfoot around this, you are not going to have the life and the business that you need. So we need to talk about this, and we need to talk about it now. And we need to get serious about it now. You have to really evaluate what is it that you are telling yourself around money and around selling and around business, that if you listen to a man, he does not say it. I was listening to a guy the other day. Oh Jesus. Oh my God. He was saying that he believes that he is more successful as a person in a relationship than the men that aren't, because they're spending so much time and energy in the dating world 20, 30 hours a week, versus over here with his stable person, his stable partner, he only spends 10 hours a week. And you know what? I went and looked her up, and you know what her business is all about? Supporting the entrepreneur. Where's your support? Where's my support? I have support. It was not easy to redefine the relationship that we are in so that we could support each other in the roles that we have as a result of choices that we have made together. I was listening to Ina Gardner's People interview the other day, and she started dating and married, I think his name is Edward, pardon me if I'm incorrect, and somewhere along the line, she's a little bit older, she started in that role of caretaking, etc., what she does, what she did, what my mother did, and then slowly she wanted to change it, and it wasn't working, so she left. The tremendous amount of courage that takes so that we can then fulfill on the lives that we are here to fulfill on is absolutely devastating consequences to get what it is that we really desire in our hearts. Thank goodness he came around and he was open to where we are today as women and what we need to do. And she is a beautiful chef and beautiful business, right? But that's what she wanted for herself and for her life. But if you continue to keep watching television and you continue to keep buying into these tropes, or what the internet calls a theme or a motive or a literary device used in storytelling that often refers to familiar patterns and cliches and conventions that audiences recognize, we no longer want to recognize these as the truth for ourselves and our lives. So we need to understand that there are tropes about rich people. Think about the ruthless billionaire. Think about the spoiled heir or heiress. Think about the lonely rich person. Think about the eccentric millionaire. Think about the old money versus new money. They're all quirky and weird, right? The philanthropist, right? Oh, doing good in the world. So you and I picked that up because of all the other, I don't want to be ruthless. So I'm going to be the one that's just like the philanthropist. I'm going to give it all away. That's going to give me the reason that I can be rich. Well, that's not working because it's not the truth. You cannot give away until you have enough to take care of yourself and your children and your families. So this is what's not being portrayed correctly in the world. So it's important that you understand that people who sell, there are also tropes. So you need to sell to make your business work. Yes or yes? A resounding yes. And because you have this idea about money and about people who sell, let's listen to some of the tropes about salespeople. There's the slick salesman, like the guy from Wall Street guy, right? There's the used cars salesman, and then there's the hard-nosed closer, and then there's the idealistic seller, like the pursuit of happiness, and then there's the burnout, and then there's the startup, and then there's the pushy. Like, just think about what you see. The most ugliest characters on the internet are salespeople and rich people. That's not by accident. So if you don't want to sell and you have problems with money, you've got to get a salesperson or get in with someone who has money, or you will not be able to fulfill on the goals you have for your life. It's just that simple. It's no ifs, ands, or buts around this. There isn't. I don't know what else to say, right? Do you want me to make this easier for you? I can't. It's not possible. For you to be able to get to the life that I believe you are here to live, you need money, and that's why you have a business. And every other business owner, a male business owner, doesn't have a problem with selling. Do you ever stop and ask yourself why? Why as women do we need to make it serving and social and about giving it all away? Why do we need to do that? What would happen if you actually stood up into who you really are? No more lying to yourself. We don't have time for it. Can I get an amen? We do not have time for it. Your ability to sell is going to put you in the driver's seat of your life, not just your business. And it's going to be able to assist you to dictate your income and the impact that you want to make with your own life first. So if you're having trouble selling, you need to not first go in and look at it as socially selling and beautiful service and all of those things. No, you need to go back and tackle what are your beliefs about selling and money and people who sell and people who have money. And determine, is that true for you? That's it. Just determine if that is true for you. And if it is, if you want to change it, change it. But my bet is you don't have those traits. You are not that person. You actually want to make a difference for yourself and your family, and you are exchanging value for that. And you need to go and exchange value back in a job because you're doing the exact same thing. You're exchanging value for a job. Don't think that every business that has employees doesn't have a number on your head. Meaning, you need to, as an employee, generate a certain amount of revenue in this business for it to make sense to have you as an employee. Listening to this same gentleman that got this girlfriend that teaches other women how to support entrepreneurs. And he was saying every employee in his business is $200,000 in revenue. So it doesn't matter if you're an employee or not. Please know that you are bringing in a certain amount of revenue, but will you do it for yourself and your own business? This is the cue of the day. Get good at selling by uncovering what's preventing you from being good at selling right now. And my guess is it's these damn tropes. My guess is it's the brainwashing that we've had as women, that money is this and money is that, and we're to serve and we're to do all of these things. Well, it's 2024, and I don't know about you, but there's not a lot of people that got my back anymore. There's not the husband that goes out to work. Well, there is, but you know what I'm saying. A lot of us are single. A lot of us don't have that. A lot of us don't have the parents and the grandparents to look after the children like we used to. There's a lot of things that are not there for us anymore. We need to do this for ourselves, and if we're going to do it for ourselves, we better do it for ourselves. So stop lying to yourself by putting all of these fancy mamby-pamby words and tiptoeing around the fact that you want and need money. Or go live in the bush. It's just that simple. Let's just go live in the bush because that doesn't cost anything. You can forage and do all of those things, but I know you don't want that for your life. You can't even convince me or you'd be there. So to do that, you have to make a certain amount of money. And if you've got debt, you're already living above what you can make or what you say you can make or what you believe you can make or what you allow yourself to make or what you think is good, I'm a good girl enough to make. We've got to get past that. We've got to be able to get to a place where we can fully step into who we truly are as a business owner. And that is going to take an incredible amount of money. We're talking millions. So let's get better at selling. Let's get out and deliver the value to the world. Let's sell it. Let's do it together. I'll be here tomorrow. I don't know what the topic is, but we'll be back.